Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People, here to recap tonight's loss on Monday Night Football. The Carolina Panthers fall to the San Francisco 49ers. Final score in this game, Carolina 9, San Francisco 20, and missed opportunities, famous words that nobody likes to hear. We had plenty of them. So we're going to do what we normally do each and every post game, breaking down the matchup for you tonight. We're going to have photos from the game by our great, sensational photographer, Patrick Snyder, who was out there in San Francisco tonight. And then we're going to have press conference highlights from both Dave Canales as well as Bryce Young. And then we're going to go inside the locker room. We're going to look at stats. And then we'll talk briefly about the standing scores and some more comments about this game. So that will be our plan for tonight as we take you through everything. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Let's just jump right on into it. So we like to start each and every game, win, lose, or draw, with photos that tell the story of the game. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not great. But I'm going to show you photographs from tonight's game from our photographer, Patrick Snyder. Do me a favor. I know after a loss, late at night, it's tough to do so, but if you're watching the video, you like the content, you enjoy what we bring to you, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Helps other Carolina Panther fans find out about the channel. And if you have not subscribed and you are considering doing so, I want to urge you to do it. We are trying to get to 15,000 subscribers. The bigger we grow, the more that we can do for you guys, and having player and coach interviews on the show. So without further ado, is this how you guys are feeling right now? Is this how we feeling? That is an image of Rico Dowdle in the closing moment on the treadmill. On the stationary bike, looking at the score as final seconds ran off the clock there. So not a happy man. We're going to get into his stats on what he did tonight and how he looked in just a moment. But that was Rico Dowdle at the end of the game. And another one. Unfortunately, this background says that the 49ers win, not the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young walking off the field. Didn't have his best game. Did not have his worst game. But it was, we're going to break it down, and I'm going to tell you guys, I honestly need to watch this film tonight to really see where the biggest blame lies for this loss tonight. Is it on the coaching staff? Was it in Bryce's decision? Was it the players not running the right routes and doing things that they should have been doing? Really weird, really bizarre. But, I want to say, obviously, in my opinion, this game was a game that the 49ers were in control of the entire game. They just made the Carolina Panthers fans feel like we have more of a chance than we had because they were making so many mistakes. But they were in control of the game the entire game. Carolina Panthers played a better second half than first half, but we just still didn't have enough power to come back and make this game as competitive as it needed to be. Let's get back to these photographs. This was the Bryce Young interception that was late in the game. And, one benefit of watching on television instead of being live is you get more replays, you get more TV time to see stuff that you can't see during the game in the press box. And that was the fact that Tetaroa on this play was held. He was held as he was making his break, coming out of it, and then that impeded his route running. And then you see Brown just comes in here, bucket arms, catches that, and makes the interception. Great photograph there by Patrick. And I see some comments coming in. Appreciate the comments. We're going to get to them in just a minute. And that was his second interception of the night that Brown made. See him holding up the two fingers because he did get that interception. So, again, San Francisco was a better team by far tonight. And this man right here, I'm sorry about that. This man right here, Christian McCaffrey. I, Christian, man, he's getting a nice paycheck, deservedly so, because this young man right here, he runs the ball, he catches the ball, he runs the ball, he catches the ball. I forget the exact count. I had it in my notes for Bryce, but for Christian McCaffrey. This guy, I think that first series must have had the ball like 5 times straight on that first drive by the San Francisco 49ers. And then finished somewhere like around 8 touches on the first drive alone. Absolutely had over 100 yards from scrimmage, and he was a difference maker tonight for San Francisco. But we did have some highlights after he changed the gloves. Here you see Here you see Bryce Young with the completion to Tedero McMillan for his touchdown. Great shot, touchdown on green right there. And then just some more great photographs of the end of the game here as Bryce Young this is the closing part of the game here as Bryce Young is just watching the clock tick away as Carolina Panthers unfortunately lose a game that you really, 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 really wanted them to have. We're still at 500, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the playoff chances and the standings. I'm jumping ahead of myself here a little bit, but it is what it is. So the Carolina Panthers had a chance to get a half game in front of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, if you look at the conference and the standings, first 7 make it, which will have San Francisco in there at 8. And then you have Detroit at 7 wins, Carolina at 6, Dallas at 5. So we're technically 2 games. 2 games. 2 games out of that final spot, needing 8 victories to get to it with 5 games left. So not crazy, but our final games, it's pretty tough. All playoff teams, Tampa Bay twice, LA once, Seattle once, and I'm missing, and New Orleans. So 4 of your 5 remaining games are against playoff caliber teams. So not a skip to Malou for the rest of the season. All right. And this was early on, man. This game was one that would drive you crazy. It'll drive you crazy because as you were watching this game, you were like, "Ooh, we got a chance. Ooh, ooh." I mean, all those interceptions, and then you have fumbles. Christian McCaffrey fumbling the ball against his former team. Like, wow, what a storyline. How unheard of is that? And it seemed like it went through, I can't see the exact number of this play here, but Morik had a chance to get it. It looked like as he was bringing it in, 15 came over top and knocked it out. And San Francisco ultimately recovered the ball, but you're just thinking, unbelievable how many opportunities they're giving the Carolina Panthers to get into this game, and they just couldn't do it. But that's that fumble that was by Christian McCaffrey that ultimately was recovered back by the San Francisco 49ers. And then my man Mike Jackson and company celebrating. Man, this was feeling good right now, right? You can see it in the background. That score was 7-0 at this point, and you're feeling good. Like, I'm thinking, Brock Purdy has not been back that long, and maybe he's just getting, he's still not back settled in as a quarterback. Because 3 interceptions, good gosh. But Mike Jackson got one, and the defense is there celebrating. This was another play. Stretching to get the extra yardage there against Wanham. And then this guy, Brock Purdy, he didn't have an outstanding game, but he did what he needed to do in this game. He tightened up in the second half, didn't have any turnovers, and they were able to bring it through and unfortunately beat the Carolina Panthers. There's Brock Purdy scrambling, buying himself some time to fake a pass. Brock's stat line on the night: 23 of 32, 193 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. And guess what, folks? Brock Purdy was not sacked at any point tonight. No sacks. We still got to improve on that, but we're defense played their butt off. And I'm gonna just let this marinate for a second right here. We gotta let this marinate. And the reason that we're letting it marinate is because it's really good stuff. J.C. Horn had a heck of a game. He actually threw up on the sideline. So I never saw on the TV broadcast where he got his concussion. They said he threw up on the sidelines and obviously left and wasn't able to return. But how incredible of a season is this guy having with 2 interceptions? I think he has 5 on the year. 2 games with 2 interceptions. That's incredible. It was incredible play by J.C. Horn tonight. And then we're going to have some more San Francisco 49er players doing what they do. This here is Jawan Jennings with the reception. This is another photograph of Mike Jackson with his interception. I forget what he had written on his wristband. He was happy to get some redemption from that obvious dropped interception that he would have had in Green Bay, and no telling how far he would have ran that back. And then talking about running, let's talk about running. Rico Dowdle. Again, we're going to talk about this after I go through all the stats and everything, but Rico Dowdle, I think we should have gave him the ball some more tonight. Each game is going to be a little different. You got to be able to coach and adapt to that. I don't feel like we coached well tonight on the offensive side to really take advantage of the moments that we had and take advantage of those opportunities. We'll talk more about that coming up here. And this was J.C. Horn's second interception. Guy was just playing like possessed. Playing some awesome football. J.C. Horn again. That's J.C. with his second interception. And how about this early on? Was I the only one that was upset about this play right here? Was I the only one upset? Because it's like, leave it to Chris. Like, of course, all running backs, all players are aware of where that first down marker is. But to get it and stretch for it in the way that he did, I mean, look at this. He's like not diving for it. This guy was sideways, lunging, flying, threw the ball out, and was able to get the first down. So, yeah, you love him. He's one of those guys you just love to pieces when he's on your team. And then when he's not on your team, you're just like, man, that darn Christian McCaffrey. Ugh. And a good moment here, post-game. 2 running backs showing some respect. I'm sure Rico's like, hey, get me on that line, that text group to get paid, man. I need to get paid like you got paid. Running backs unite. Rico Dowdle and Christian McCaffrey there post-game, sharing a little embrace and respect for one another. So we may have another picture or two come through. Those are your photographs from tonight. I see some comments that are coming in. Appreciate you guys staying up late tonight to talk with me and go over this unfortunate loss by the Carolina Panthers. Let's go ahead now and cut to some press conferences. We're going to cut to Dave Canales. Unfortunately, talking about the missed opportunities from the game.
Just a game of missed opportunities. Our defense was putting us in some great situations, with the interceptions and not coming away with points. Having an interception on one of those things really hurt us. Some basic things, a couple of penalties put us in long drives, a drop on third down. Really just comes down to fundamental execution and things that, I felt like we're moving in the right direction, but we didn't take that step today that I was looking for. Collectively as a group, and the defense battled, and they kept us in it, gave us some opportunities there, and then we turned it over again at the end with an opportunity to make the game close there at the end.
So there's our guy Dave Canales talking about the missed opportunities, and certainly the defense gave them some opportunities to compete tonight. Gave them plenty of opportunities, and they got banged up, which we're going to talk about these injuries here in just a second, but they just weren't able to get it through. So we're going to go ahead and play another clip on Coach talking about Bryce's first interception.
Yeah, it was a great action. He had Mitch open in the back half, and there's an option he could take off and run it into the front pylon. He saw Mitch, and, right when he turns back in, they had a defender on the edge who popped out and intercepted it. At that time, he made a great play on the ball. But, we've been running the ball there in that situation, and felt like we could get another chance to run at it if we didn't get the completion on that roll. But I like the call. It was an aggressive call, a play action that we had opportunities on, and unfortunately came out with an interception.
So I mentioned that J.C. Horn got hurt. Didn't really see the replay. And Dave Canales here is going to give us a little bit more information on exactly what happened with J.C. Horn that led him to being out of the game tonight.
Leaving our defense out there a long time, and they start making extra yards after that with two good solid backs. Yeah, it didn't present as a head injury initially, and then once he came in for the half, that's when it started to really materialize. So when he came out and he was, feeling nauseous and all that, those are signs that our training staff took and said, okay, we got to make sure we do further evaluation on that.
Dave, you obviously needed 2 scores down 11.
Yeah.
Going for the 50.
So that was Canales talking about J.C. Horn and his head injury that led him to being out. And then we got one more clip that we're going to play from the coach, just taking responsibility for the loss and how things played out tonight. So I'm going to share this clip with you, Canales, talking about how this falls on him.
I have a lot of good help, but again, this is a collective thing, and it starts with me. I have to make sure that we're all, taking that information and making it come alive, and having a good attack. Love the game plan that we had coming into it, but making sure that our guys are ready. And so I got to do whatever it takes to make sure that they're ready to go. And we have a modified week now, this week, and so we have to be able to take the lessons from this and move on quickly. We have everything still right in front of us. We have to understand that, but the only way we're going to make it happen is by playing good fundamental football.
So Coach Canales there, not elaborating too much, but saying that it falls on him. Again, we're going to certainly get into more of my thoughts and analysis about what happened tonight and why it happened. Excuse me. I think a lot of it falls on Coach Canales. And again, I want to see about Bryce as well, to see some more details about Bryce. He didn't have outstanding numbers. He didn't have horrible numbers, but things just didn't really pick up until that second half, and at that point it was just a little tad bit too late. So right now we're going to go ahead and cut to Bryce Young and his speaking with the media and take a few snippets from Bryce. All right, give me just a second.
Just lack of it.
All right, so here we go. We're going to cut to Bryce Young and his comments from tonight and take a look at his press conference.
Just lack of execution. You know, a couple plays you want to have back, a couple stuff they could do better. Haven't watched the film yet, but you out there live it. Doesn't feel great. Sucks. Going to be a sucky plane right back, but we got a short week. We got to turn the page. We got to, you know, we got to flush it quick. So, you know, not the outcome we wanted, but you know, we're moving forward.
So, you know, Bryce said some things that I was thinking about right there after listening to Coach. You know, it's a, geez. Oh, man, I forget, guys. What is it, about a 5-hour flight? Maybe from San Francisco to get back to Charlotte. I forget if it's quicker going or quicker coming back. Let's just say 5-hour flight. Pretty long flight for a football game. Most of the flights, 1 hour to 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. So this is a flight that's twice as long as most flights are for the team. And it's after a bad loss on a Monday night. Maybe the good thing is it's late, so everybody's going to sleep. So it may not be as sucky as it possibly could be. But then here's the tough thing, and Canales kind of touched on this a little bit, is that this team has a short week. And it's a holiday week, right? You have a lot of distractions. One is you just had you just got embarrassed on national television. 2 is you got a long flight back to Charlotte. 3 is you got a shortened week now because of you playing on Monday night. And 4, you got to deal with the holiday. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Just got a super chat, so I want to give some props to that. Super chats are always needed, always welcome. Cage Luke says, next game, 437-3, Rams. So we do play the Los Angeles Rams next week, 1 o'clock here in Charlotte. We will be there with our pregame show, postgame show, and photographs that we always do. I don't know, maybe one thing that you could take and be optimistic about is, I don't know if we've lost, how often have we lost back-to-back games this year? Let me, it's late, so I want to look at the schedule so I do not misspeak. Well, we start off the season with back-to-back losses. Yeah, so we haven't had back-to-back losses since that first game of the season. So maybe this is something that we break when we play the Los Angeles Rams. Because tonight we broke the fact that we normally, if we win the coin toss, we win the game. So we broke that tonight. And then also not letting the team score in the first quarter. On the opening drive of a game. Broke that tonight. So broke those two things. So I think in exchange for breaking those two things, that we'll continue to stick to our not losing 2 games in a row since the beginning of the season. And we'll find some kind of way to stun the Los Angeles Rams, continue to be the Cardiac Cats, continue to have a chance to win the NFC South, and continue to have a chance for the playoffs. I don't think it would be 437-3. That would be utterly amazing and ridiculous, but appreciate you, Cage Luke, for the super chat. We try to get 3 each and every broadcast on game day. So 2 more people watching. If you have it in you, the ability, 99 cents is all it takes to do a super chat. Would love for you to show your support and do so. We also have Cash App, as you see, I just put there on the bottom of the screen in case you're able to support in that manner. Let's get back to Bryce Young and his press conference. Bryce doesn't give you a whole lot. Got 2 more clips we're going to play for you here from Bryce. This one's going to be on his interception.
Yeah, Timid. Yeah, again, good play by DB. Can't put the ball in peril like that, especially in a situation like that. Take full ownership. That's on me. I have to do a better job making decisions. Again, it's on me, and we'll wear it for this 24, and then we'll turn the page.
All right, then I'm going to share one more thing from you. I'm sorry, for with you from Bryce on the game tonight. Give me just a second.
For this league, everyone demands our utmost attention. So, we'll flip the page and go to next week.
Does it make it tougher when defense is getting the interceptions and getting the ball back to you guys and having something?
I mean, again, it's not going to make the playing right feel any better. They played a great game. Again, it's a really good unit. They turned the ball over. They did an amazing job of creating those turnovers, of doing stuff. And as offense, we feel bad. We let them down today. I let them down today. Sucks, but again, we got next week. It's gonna suck right now, and then that's just the nature of this league. You got to flush it and get ready for next week.
All right, so that was all the comments from Bryce. And now I know I was on mute there for a second, sorry about that. But now we're going to go to a few more things that we got from the locker room. Rapid reaction, this will be good stuff right here. So we're going to go ahead and show you some of these things right here. So one of the things that happened at the end of the game, appreciate your case, Luke. We need one more super chat. At the very end of the game, there was players had to be separated. It was Jennings and Trayvon Morag. And so on television, what they showed was Trevin punching Jennings in the lower section, very sensitive area that men have. And then you think, okay, so that's probably what led to Jennings wanting to come after Trevin and after the game ended. So here's some video in the locker room. Trevin Morag talking about that exchange. This video is from Joe Person of The Athletic. So certainly be sure to check out Joe. But here's some video of Trevon post game talking about that incident.
In the back and see it, so
Bryce
that's
Thompson
what
in
it
the
was.
podium.
Not much.
I mean, you were pretty blatantly away from the ball. Like,
There really ain't nothing much to it, bro. It was just that. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'll take that one. He wanted to do a little dirty stuff, so it is what it is, man.
was it just isolated or just frustration of the entire day?
Nah, it wasn't even frustration. It was isolated, let's say. You know what I'm saying?
Do you ESPN has it
In the back and see it, so
Bryce
that's what
Thompson
it was.
So a little tough to hear locker room sound post game because there's so much noise going on. And, rarely do you have players being completely honest after a game about what happened if they were in the wrong, right? So Corey Thornton, let's go ahead and talk about these injuries because right now I got some updates for you. Let's go ahead and talk about these injuries that we had from tonight. And then I'm going to tell you about this clip. So we had several. We had Claudin Sherlis who left with a concussion. We had J.C. Horn that left with a concussion. He was out. Chandler Zavala was out. I think he had like a calf injury. Ashawn Robinson went out for a little bit. He returned. And then Corey Thornton had an ankle injury, and he was out. Corey was seen post-game in the locker room with a soft cast on his left foot. Again, Corey Thornton was seen in the locker room post-game with a soft cast on his foot. And then Chandler Zavala had a walking boot on his left leg. He had suffered an ankle injury, a calf injury, but Chandler Zavala had a walking boot on his left leg after the game. And Dave Canales said that he wants to get to the bottom of that situation to see why Trevon and Jennings had some post-game extracurriculars going on. And we also got a comment, one more comment that we're going to play. Let's see here if it loads up properly. Give me just a second. All right, got one more clip for you that we're going to share with you guys.
About 15.
You think he was had it coming to him?
Yeah, I just told you I can't say nothing. You better get me in trouble with my mama. I gotta go see her. She gonna see this.
It is Thanksgiving.
That's what I'm saying.
I ain't gonna tell you.
About 15.
You think he was had it coming to him?
Yeah, I just told you I can't say nothing. You better.
All right, so I thought we were going to get a little bit more there, but we did get nothing. Mike Jackson talking about Jennings, who was hit below the belt by Moreg, and whether or not he had it coming to him, when yada yada yada. So I guess that'll just be a story that we'll continue to work on and get to you guys. So let's go ahead and look at some stats and spend some time talking about this game a little bit more. I did not bring my water. I was reaching for my water. Where's my water? I don't have it. Stats. Let's go ahead and take a look at these stats. So passing wise, Bryce Young was 18 of 29. That is good for just about a 62% completion, 169 yards, a far cry from his 455 last week, 5.8 average, which is not bad at all for Bryce. He's usually a lot lower than that. 1 TD, 2 interceptions, a passer rating of 60.8. So those are your Bryce Young stats. Certainly not good. Certainly not horrific. Certainly not enough. Let's go ahead and look at the rushing attack. Rico Dowdle, 6 carries, 38 yards, a 6.3 yard average. So I'm going to pause right there. Start to break this game down for you guys a little bit more. So at the opening, I said that this game was really in full control by the San Francisco 49ers the entire game. And what happened in that first half is it kind of fooled us, right? Especially if you're a Carolina Panther fan, like, ooh, we got an opportunity. Ooh, we're doing good. But no, the San Francisco were in control, and they were also just making a bunch of mistakes. That's a rarity to see some team that's in so much control of the game, but making so many mistakes that, yeah, it could throw you off for thinking like this could have easily been something. No, it was the Panthers defense playing out of their minds the first half. Continued to do extremely well, to be honest with you, to say that they lost so many players, so many pivotal, important players in that first half. Defense did really good, but the San Francisco 49ers really controlled this game. I don't always have the stats that I show from the other team, but here's what happened in that first half. First down, number one, the time of possession. The time of possession by the San Francisco 49ers is why I say they were in control. In that first half, now let's just go with the first quarter. First quarter, time of possession. I want to get it exactly right because I had the stats right here in front of me. First quarter, time of possession. Come on, computer. You can do it. I'm live. I need to be accurate with my information. What the heck? All right. So my stats are no longer valid. Great. Welcome to live TV. I think it was somewhere around, give me some wiggle room, 10 minutes of possession for the first quarter that the San Francisco 49ers had, and then the Carolina Panthers had it for 5. it was somewhere around for the half where it was basically 18 minutes of possession to 11 minutes of possession. That's a lot. And even worse, we had 3 first downs. They had 13 first downs. That's a lot. We had 72 yards. They had 162 yards. So it was a first half in which we played offensively pretty bad, and we had turnovers that we couldn't capitalize on. Carolina Panthers had 3 turnovers that they won, right? I'm not saying that well. The San Francisco 49ers had 3 turnovers, giving the Carolina Panthers plenty of opportunity to put some points on the board. But this shows how bad our offense was in that first half. 3 turnovers, 3 points. 3 turnovers, 3 points. Bad. I didn't get a chance to put this together quick enough, but I feel like we had some 3 and outs after those. And those opportunities, right, when you get that many turnovers and only get 3 points, which is, a field goal, it's pretty poor. And one of them was caused by Bryce Young throwing an interception in the end zone. I don't know. I kind of want to give a little grace and say it's still learning, but again, I want to break down all the stats. I went back. Let me play this. I played this sound effect here because we were looking at this right here with the rushing. Rico Dowdle averaged 6.3 yards per carry. 6.3. Chuba averaged 5.3. They were doing good. They were doing good. And we kept throwing the ball and not completing the ball, and a few times dropping the ball. And I think that's where, like, Dave Canales needs to improve about coaching his team and putting them in positions to win, because yes, last week against the Atlanta Falcons, we knew that we weren't going to be good with I would say we were prepared for the run to not be used a lot. And so we passed a lot on that first possession, and it worked. And then we kept passing and boom, here you have it. Well, when you're out in San Francisco and maybe you're thinking, okay, we might do the same thing again this week. No, don't stay fixated on that. If your guys are running, getting 6 yards a carry, and your time of possession is as lopsided as it was, like I said, the computer's not working for me right now, but I think it was like 10 minutes to 5 minutes in that first quarter. It was 11 minutes. I'm sorry. It was 19 minutes to 11 minutes overall in the first half. We had total plays. They ran 37 plays. We ran 19 plays. So what I'm getting at is make the adjustment, Dave. Maybe that was your game plan going in, but you got to be willing to change that game plan a little sooner, because you had several reasons to. Interceptions, no points, and time of possession. So anyway, let me continue on through here. We already looked at the passing. Let's go ahead and look at the receiving. Rico Dowdle was your leading receiver with 36 yards. Teteroa McMillan, 35. He did not have a good game. Him and Bryce did not have a good game collectively. And again, this is one of those things where you feel like you have to go back and look at the tape. I think Teteroa, I know he absolutely had 1 drop. I feel like he had 2. And then there was another play where Bryce was inaccurate with it. But yeah, when you are 2 of 7 with your number 1 wide receiver, one of them being a 29-yard, that's just bad, really bad. our running backs were two of our top 4 receivers. Xavier Legette, he was able to get some targets, doing decently there, but didn't come in really until the second half. Jimmy Horn Jr. did get some more touches tonight, or, was getting a touch, getting 11 yards. JT Sanders, Mitch Evans. And then let's go over to the defense, which was outstanding. And then I want to get to some of you all's questions here. Defensively, Chris Barnes ended up having the most tackles, but solo tackles, your leading guy was Trevin Moreg. And, Trevin had a really good game making some tackles. Some really good open field tackles, outstanding open field tackles, and continued to play a really solid game throughout. Again, don't know what happened at the end there with him and Jennings, and then in the secondary, Mike Jackson, 1 interception, J.C. Horn, 2 interceptions. Defense really, really gave us an opportunity. So let's get to these super chats and go ahead and get to interacting. All right. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned, watching, supporting the Charlotte Vibe, helping us grow, helping us cover this team. And as I say, win, lose, or draw, we're going to be here. We're going to cover this team. Tomorrow will be our day after show where we'll spend the whole show up to 1 hour talking more in depth about the film. Canales will speak with the media again tomorrow. We'll also have some more players. All right. So that's going to be tomorrow, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, where I will go further and just be your ear. You have a friend of the media, which is myself, for this one. All right. Cage Luke, I appreciate you. You showed some good love tonight. The Niners defense not even that good. You're right. So to his point, the San Francisco 49ers last week against the Arizona Cardinals allowed, let me just go to it because I know it was terrible. I think they allowed the Arizona Cardinals about 500 yards passing, and they allowed the Arizona Cardinals like a record amount of pass attempts. So let me go to it. It ain't going to take me long. Yeah. Jacoby Brissett last week had 452 yards passing against the San Francisco team, 57 pass attempts. He was 47 of 57. That was last week. That is not a good defense. I mean, and we had I can show you some more information here. Here we go. Let's look at their defense. Wrong screen. That's the offense. We don't want to look at the offense. We want the defense. Where's my defensive screenshot? Of course, I'm not going to quickly find it. There goes my luck. I do not quickly see. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I don't think I have it. Gosh darn it. But yeah, they to Cage's point, the San Francisco 49ers, they don't have a good defense. They don't. Man, I wish I could find that graphic of where I put it. I don't know where I put it, guys. I'm going to look in one more spot, but I think it's gone. I'm pretty sure it's gone. They were 80% backups and missing their starting linebackers too. Canales' play calling was abysmal. To not be able to capitalize on 3 turnovers is a crime. Yeah, I can't disagree with you. He scored on 1 because they got the field goal. Bryce turned it over on 1. So so you can't really put all of that part of it on Canales because he did score once with a touchdown. I'm sorry, with a field goal. He did get in the red zone until Bryce threw the interception. And on that interception, Bryce certainly looked like he could have ran it for a pretty good, safer attempt in that tight window that he was trying to get it in there to. And on the other one, I don't remember the sequence. But I do feel like overall, in that first half. He could have ran the ball more because San Francisco's drives were just eating up the clock. Appreciate your comments, Cage Luke. Appreciate it very much. R.L. Britt, what you got? Love your dedication, Chris. Tonight was rough. Yeah, it's rough. And, 1/3 of the team. So I always want to give a shout out to my team. Patrick Snyder's our team photographer, and Hunter Bailey handles our social media tweeting and also production for our post-game show. Patrick Snyder's getting on a red-eye flight right now to come back to Charlotte after being out there covering the game for us. So, yeah, lots of hard work all the way around. Lots of good dedication from the team. So, appreciate you guys with the super chats to help support us in what we're doing and allows us to continue to do what we're doing. Bryce is a terrorist. That's pretty strong. We shouldn't pick up his 5th-year option, and we need to bring in competition in the offseason. I'm going off of this roller coaster. Says Alec Covan 2856. So Bryce, yeah, he's up and down. Sorry, it is certainly a late night broadcasting, but we're doing what we do and getting you guys up to date, because I know for those who are not watching tonight, they're going to watch first thing in the morning, and I want to make sure. By the way, you know what? We only have 10 likes right now. I know it's late, but if you guys could, everybody that's watching right now, just take a moment, pick up your phone while you're watching, and just do that. It'll help me out. Show me some love. So it's free, cost you nothing. But Bryce is certainly a guy that I want competition for in the offseason. I want him to earn it. I want us to, whether we get a free agent or whether we get a draft pick. I'm not saying he's garbage, and I appreciate you guys now picking up the phone and hitting that like, so keep doing it. We got to get a few more. But I really want some options for Bryce. There we go. 2 more people did it. Now we just need 7 more people. I know a lot of people are watching. Those of you on YouTube, to just hit that like button. Bryce could very well continue to be our starting quarterback next year, but I do want competition for it. I do want competition, and I feel like the worst case scenario would be you get a guy that brings in some competition. I don't think Bryce needs to be pushed to focus more. Maybe the pressure will make a difference. I don't know, because Bryce just seems like a very steady guy. He blocks out the outside noise, and he just does him. But he certainly plays differently when he's in Atlanta, and he plays differently in the clutch. But I feel like even the worst case scenario, you bring somebody in to really compete for that job. They don't get it the first year. Bryce is your starting quarterback. But then you go to that next year, and then this kind of gets a little bit hard to talk about because now you get into many layers, because now Bryce is going to need a new contract after next year. But I was going to say, with that quarterback that you bring in there to compete with him next year, and maybe Bryce wins it out, that you can then say at the next season, like, maybe that guy's now learned enough where he can beat out Bryce. Not that I want that to happen, but just you got to also look at the development part of always doing what you can to keep your team competitive, and that's something that you can do. Because, again, Bryce is not a bust. Bryce is not terrible. He's just not a number 1 pick performance that you would hope that he would be. And at this point in his career, I feel like you can be more critical of him not being there yet, where we would all like to see him being just a little bit more consistent. Another one from Cage Luke. I want to know who calls the better sequence of plays. Is it Dave or is it Brad? So Dave calls the plays. He's been challenged before about being a head coach and having too much on his plate with calling the plays. That, it could be it. Brad is even younger than Dave. Dave's pretty young. Brad is super young. He talks with Brad throughout the game in the headset, getting ideas, and, Dave ends up calling the plays. It needs to be improved. There certainly seems to be an area of improvement that could take place there, for sure. All right, let's try to get to a few of the members' questions before we get out of here. Oh, look at this. Loud Pack. I miss Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, that dude is outstanding, for sure. Chance Hines. Yeah. We got beat. We got beat pretty bad. Maybe they should play all their away games in Atlanta. Came into the game with some optimism, ended it by reaching for my bourbon. Well, it's late night, so after you drink your bourbon, just turn over in bed, go to sleep. So, B Stallion, hey Chris, injuries have taken a toll on this team, plus weaknesses still show up. LT is an issue. Chandler Zavala, man. Guy gets hurt a lot. Chandler Zavala gets hurt a lot. Hope he gets well. Left tackle is an issue. Right guard is an issue. Quarterback is inconsistent. Wide receivers need to use Appreciate you making me speechless and a little frustrated there. Yeah, you're right. Donald Duck. We're going to end it with Donald Duck. Donald Duck, I appreciate you. I remember you coming on a lot during the days of, man, what's the quarterback's name? I can see his face. Ooh, Donald, who's the quarterback that you were liking years ago and he never really got the opportunity and got released? Dang nabbit, I'm going to not remember. But anyway, Donald Duck, the fact is we couldn't capitalize on 3 interceptions. Stop complaining about the refs. That's a cold hard fact. We're pretenders and get in high and cocky when we have touched the playoffs. When we haven't touched the playoffs in years. All right. That's going to wrap up the show for tonight. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, I'm going to break this down a little bit more in depth than we are tonight. And it's a call-in show. Tomorrow's show is all about you all calling in and talking to me. So I like to say you have a friend in the media, which is myself. Give me 2 more likes before we get out of here. I know put up 4 fingers if you count them both, but give me 2 more likes before we get out of here, please and thank you. We've got to get to at least 20. But tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, as long as you have a phone, a computer, camera, come on the show with this event, whether it's a question, whatever it may be, let me know. I'm here for you. And again, we'll talk more about what Dave Canales has said and have some more players' feedback as well. So thank you all for watching. Final score, again, Carolina Panthers 9, the San Francisco 49ers 20. We fall to 6-6, still now squarely in second place, a half game behind Tampa Bay. Play them twice before the end of the season, so they're still absolutely a shot, folks. Stay tuned. I'm Chris Jenkins for Charlotte 5.